Hi guys, welcome into Rhill World. I am your host, Randall Hill, aka Rhill One, and today we have a huge show on tap. A lot has happened since the last time we talked. It's been a few days, but on tap today we're going to talk a little bit about No Kings and the rallies that took place across the country. Ireland is having some immigration issues that I would like to bring to the forefront and talk about a little bit. Trump's building a ballroom in the White House and the left is freaking out. And let's talk a little bit about the government shutdown. All ahead today here on Rhill World. So if you're ready, I'm ready. Let's go. All right, so first I want to talk about some No Kings rallies that took place across the country. They were pretty minute, small in number, really pointless if you really break down what was happening. There is no king in this country, obviously, but we do have a very good president for a change. Best president since, well, Trump 1.0. He's just doing some really great things at the moment. Trade, bringing down inflation. I mean, just so many good things to mention, but far from a king. Times we kind of wish maybe he was a king so he could get through his agenda, which, by the way, if you're a lefty and listening, we voted for and a free and fair election. Well, not exactly free and fair. We do know that it was rigged, and he still won it. Imagine that. And he won the Senate and the White House to boot, which means that the left's been rejected. Pretty plain and simple. So you don't get what you want when you are rejected. The American people have spoken. They want this agenda, and this is what we voted for, and this is what we want as a country. And the left just continues to dig themselves deeper and deeper into a hole. We kind of like it. I mean, as I've always said, hey, let them talk. As much as they want to censor us, we just want to let them talk because they just continue to do a free fall dive. And it's funny to watch, but it's pretty sad that half of our country is along these mind waves. I don't know. I don't get it personally, but it is fun to make fun of, and it gives me a lot of content. So among the No Kings rallies, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but Trump, the ultimate troll, released a video. It is AI, I guess I gotta say, first and foremost. Nobody was actually taking place. None of this actually took place. But it is very funny video that Trump put out to troll the No Kings rallies going on. And I just want to show it to you because it is absolutely hilarious. So without further ado, here we go. King Trump. Shitting all over. Oh, just a little bit of fun there. You gotta love President Trump. He definitely is the ultimate troll. However, he knows he's not a king. Like I said, if he was, man, we would really be making some waves in this country, and country would be a lot better off with Trump as a king. But then we would have had to accept the alternative, and that would have been an absolute nightmare, as we would be in full-blown communism at this point, and we wouldn't have Trump. So gotta love the greatest country on earth and the great U.S. of A. Trump's been doing some traveling. He has been visiting overseas, doing some visits, and I just wanted to show you one particular clip. he's receiving an award overseas. I mean, he's just, if you see just clip after clip after clip, nothing the left mainstream media will show you, but he's being welcomed with open arms, and I mean, they just love him just as much as we on the right love him here in the U.S. But here's Trump visiting overseas and receiving an award in South Korea. Oh, let's take a look. We present you this medal with our deepest appreciation.
Thank you very much. Wow. That's as beautiful as it can possibly be.
너무나 아름답습니다.
I'll always cherish it.
항상 소중히 간직하겠습니다.
대한민국 국민들이 우리 대통령님께 그런 감사의 마음을 담아서 드리고 있습니다.
The people of Korea are awarding you with this medal with their deep appreciation.
Thank you very much. It's a great honor, and we're going to keep it very good with Korea. It's very, very special. We have a very great relationship, and it will continue and only get stronger. Thank you very much.
Well, how do you like that? And I just want to highlight something that he's being given here. Huh. Is that a crown? Huh. Anyhow, we still don't have a king, but he did receive a crown over in South Korea, which is also freaking the left out. Oh, it's you can't just make this stuff up. It's absolutely amazing. But speaking of the left freaking out, Trump's building a ballroom in addition to the White House, because the White House has no place to host any events or, you know, anything really. There's contrary to popular belief, the White House really isn't that big, and there is no formal hosting area anywhere. As a matter of fact, Obama held an event there and had to kind of set up a tent-like setup outside and host an event there. So Trump has taken it upon himself and funding it himself and with private donors to add just a glorious, glorious ballroom. One would say fit for a king. And I really, really do hope that he does decide to name it after himself. But the left is up in arms, of course, because, I mean, when is the left not up in arms? Let's take a look.
It's underway for the White House, at the ballroom, I should say, at the White House. And MSNBC's Mika and Joe are basically in tears over it.
I mean, this is historic structure.
It's history being torn to shreds. And again, is everybody? I mean, so if somebody wants to go into the White House, the next person wants to just knock down all the walls and turn it into
like
a disco. Congress can't do anything. I mean, seriously, yeah, I mean, you're destroying like one of the most historic structures on the planet.
Yeah, and the cost.
And are we saying that whoever we elect president has the right to destroy? Like what? Yes. Just tear things up, tear it to the ground, turn it into something else? Kind of crazy.
Yeah, I don't think it's not your home that you purchased in Jersey.
No, it's not yours. You rent it from the American people for 4 years.
And that is a prime example of how they lie. Oh, he's just destroying the White House. He's tearing it down. No, he's doing something extravagant. You know, let's wait for him to build it back up. You know, like everything he does, he seems to be doing. It's been great. And this ballroom is no exception. I mean, that's what the man has done his whole life, is building. And I think this will be one of his greatest achievements in building in his life, which for him is really, really saying something. But on the topic of destruction and blowing stuff up, why don't we just add a little fun video here of some ships being blown up over in international waters, just because I just love to see stuff blowing up. This video has no sound, but it is the Tren de Aragua, or Venezuelan ships, full of drugs that they were trying to bring into the U.S. being blown up and on fire there in the water. Of course, the left's freaking out about these two, but you know, there really is no point other than, you know, I just like to see stuff being blown up. I think it's freaking awesome. And we could talk about it a little bit. Trump's not going to stop his efforts on stopping the drugs, the fentanyl, so on and so forth, coming into the country. And we are definitely a better country for it. Let's save our children. Let's make our streets
Watch what blueberries do to
safe.
your love handles.
Are smoothies a good option?
Sorry about that. No technical difficulties. Let's make our streets safer. You know, we've already closed down the border. So that stopped that drug flow there. You're not coming by sea. We have sent a strong message with that. As you can see, we will blow you up if you attempt to bring drugs into the U.S. of A. under the Trump administration and leadership. So thank you once again, Mr. President, for helping to clean up our streets and keep our children safe. We can't thank you enough. Along with what's happening, I did mention the border being closed, and you know, we've talked about it, and you know, the continued efforts to get ICE out of these big cities continues to happen. These, you know, riots and, you know, protests, whatever you want to call it, continue to take place. So I was alerted about a situation over in Ireland with the immigrants over there, and it's projected we're about 10-15 years away from the immigration in this country being as bad as it is in Ireland. Believe it or not, Ireland's immigration is, like I said, it's about 10-15 years past where we would have been had we not started to really take hold and close down that border and proceed to start deporting these people. But you're going to see here in this next clip, this is Ireland citizens protesting all these immigrants coming into the country, committing crimes, taking all the country's money. Exactly what we're seeing here. You know, we haven't gotten to the point of being violent like the left is, you know, on the right side, as we continue to protest and, you know, bring light to what is going to happen should we not get a hold of this and take control. But you know, we still have half the country that still says, oh, let them in. Well, this is exactly why we don't want to let them in, why we can't continue to let them in. Let's take a look at what's going on over in Ireland with their citizens.
Violent anti-immigrant protests rocked Dublin for the second night in a row, following the alleged sexual assault by a migrant of a 10-year-old girl in the city. As tensions rise in the Irish capital, here's everything you need to know. Viral videos being shared on social media reveal a chaotic scene, as up to 1,000 angry demonstrators gathered outside the City West Hotel on Tuesday night for a second night of protests. The situation outside of the sprawling hotel, which is now used to house asylum seekers, turned savage as protesters lit a police van on fire, threw bricks, set off fireworks, and hurled objects, including glass bottles, at police trying to hold them back. According to Sky News, the crowd even targeted a police helicopter with lasers. One police officer was injured and at least 6 arrests were made in the chaos, which the Irish Times described as 90 minutes of madness.
Yes, get them out.
According to the outlet, children were among the rioters, yelling anti-immigrant chants and attacking the police. "This is Ireland. This is our country. Get them out. Get them f***ing out," a woman reportedly yelled through a loudspeaker. Irish flags could be seen waving throughout. Earlier in the day, a 26-year-old man who has not been publicly identified, but who has been described by the Irish Times as African, appeared in court, where he was charged with the sexual assault of a child. He was assigned an Arabic interpreter for the proceedings. He is being accused of assaulting the 10-year-old girl, who is in state care, on Monday, October 20th, at Garter Lane in Saggart, which is located very close to the City West Asylum Center. "I have nothing to say," the man reportedly told the judge after the charges were read. The public outcry and response following the assault comes 2 years after 3 young children were stabbed in 2023, which also led to a riot in Dublin that shocked the public.
Time after time after time again. We see it happening across the world. We see it happening here on our own soil. And yet people still just don't understand why we cannot have the third world invading, because that's what they're doing when they come here illegally, unannounced, uninvited. They are invading our country just like they did in Ireland, just like they do in many, many other countries across the world. And they are the third world, and these countries don't need those people in them. As a matter of fact, those countries are better off without those people, including our own. We are better off without those people. If they can, add to society, then why aren't they adding to their own society, would be my response to that. They can go home and contribute every little thing that you say that they're going to contribute here to their own society and try to make their own countries better. But something tells me that's not going to be the case, as we see time and time and time again. So yeah, we see the left, something similar to that, protesting, let them in, let them stay, let them go, no, don't arrest them and deport them. Pretty soon, my guess would be the same freaking people, because they don't know what the hell they're doing. You even ask them questions and they can't answer the simplest of questions as to why they're out there, other than collecting their Soros checks. About why they're protesting. They're going to be the same ones out there in 15 years. Oh, I can't feed my children. The crime in the streets are outrageous. Let's stop this. We must stop this. Well, then it's going to be too late. Right now, we could still do something about it. And we have a president who's willing to stand up and fight the fight. And not only him, but it's been many, many other presidents in the past that have stood and fight this fight, because they know the dangers and the destruction that it brings to a country whenever you bring in the third world, especially the kinds of people that have come over the last 4 years under the Otto Penn administration. And these demon rats keep fighting for these people when they're just... these other countries have emptied their insane asylums, their prisoners. They're bringing the worst of the worst. President Trump was absolutely right when he talked about this, and we must take a strong, hard stand, which is also why the government is defunded right now. Sorry about that. But yes, the government is currently shut down. We're on day 30. 2 days away from a lot of Americans not receiving their SNAP benefits or paychecks, more importantly, for the people that are working. And, the able-bodied people not receiving their SNAP, I don't really feel bad for them, and they should be forced to go and get a job. But there's a lot of people that actually do need the help. And those resources are available because of situations of people that are in need. And those people aren't going to receive their benefits because these demon rats want to take care of illegal people in the country, keep giving them handouts. This is all about illegals getting free access to health care, which has put a strain on our healthcare system. Also, the immigration has put a strain on our schooling system, a strain on our farmers for food supply, a strain for trying to house all of these people. And they continue to try to give free handout after free handout. And, I came across a clip that really says it best as to what exactly is going on if you don't understand what's going on. And it's Speaker Johnson coming out and telling us exactly what is going on, and the most plain words that, like I said, I haven't heard anybody explain it any better than Speaker Johnson does here. So let's go ahead and turn the floor over to Speaker Johnson.
So I brought you a little visual aid here to just remind everybody what the simple facts are. 4 simple facts here. The Democrats are required to open the government. They keep saying Republicans are in charge of government. We aren't, not in the Senate. 60 votes control the Senate, not a bare majority. And so point number 1, Democrat votes are required to open the government. Point number 2, they refuse to do it. They have now voted 12 times to keep the government closed.
13 now.
And they'll have another chance today or tomorrow, maybe multiple times this week, and we'll see what they do. Now, the third point is very important because they've been trying to confuse the American people. They've tried to say this is a fight about health care or this or that or any other thing, and it's very simple. They put this on paper. They made this their demand in writing in the record of the Senate, and it has not changed. These are just 4 subpoints there under fact number 3, but there's many more. But among the things they're demanding, this is what the Democrats in the Senate are demanding to reopen the government. They want to give $200 billion in health benefits to illegal aliens and non-citizens, paid for by U.S. taxpayers. That is in their proposal. They want billions in wasteful programs to be returned to foreign countries. So we stopped these things. They want to turn it all back on. They're demanding that we do all that to get the government open for hardworking Americans again. They want to give $500 million to left-leaning news organizations, and they want to cut $50 billion from rural hospitals. We will not do those things. And they know that very well. Which leads us to point number 4. The Democrats have now openly admitted, and you all had to cover it last week, that they're using the pain of the American people as their leverage. That was the number 2 ranked Democrat in the House. The Democrat, the minority whip, who said that, acknowledged it in an interview, that this is leverage. And Chuck Schumer himself boasted that every day of the shutdown gets better for us. That's his now infamous quote that he wishes he had not said out loud. Disgusting. But you know what they're doing and why. Why are they demanding these things? Why is point number 3 so essential to them? Why would they do this? Because it's unprecedented, as we've noticed, and reminded you all, they voted for CRs every time it was possible in their lives, as recently as March of this year. But they're doing it to appease their far-left Marxist base. That's the headline. That's why. That's why we're all in this mess. That's why the American people are suffering pain, because the Democrats are more afraid of the Marxist in their base than they are of hardworking Americans. See, they've made an evaluation that they have to appease the Marxist base, that they're so concerned that they'll lose their jobs if they don't appease the far left in their party. And they sat in a back room and they made the calculation that they would rather shut the government down and impose all this pain on the American people because they believe the Marxists, the far left in the base, are more active than hardworking Americans, people who go vote. And so they made the calculation that it's worth it to them. Every day gets better for us. We'll use the pain as leverage. For what? To prove to the far left base that they won't give in, that they'll fight Trump and fight the Republicans. What are they fighting? It's a clean CR. It's the same level of funding that they have voted for as recently as earlier this year. They are Biden-level policies and spending. This is not some Republican. So it brought you a little visual aid.
These demon rats are absolutely disgusting. They must be stopped. There was a vote that took place. The American people have rejected you, demon rat Democrats. That is why all of that funding for illegal aliens and your little slush fund programs that you send money overseas and pocket half of it has gone away. No more slush fund money. No more money for illegals. No more money for other countries. Get over yourselves. And just to prove what Speaker Johnson saying is true, he spoke there about Catherine Clark being the number two and how they're using leverage, I have taken the liberty to show you exactly what she said during that interview.
Is that the Democrats are responsible?
I mean, shutdowns are terrible, and of course there will be, you know, families that are going to suffer. We take that responsibility very seriously, but it is one of the few leveraged times we have.
The White House.
Sorry guys, I'm a little fired up about this. You never use suffering of people for any reason. And these people just continue to do it time and time again. I'm absolutely sick of it. Sick of them. Our friend over at Vince, he has a podcast over on Rumble, has put together a clip of 3 other Democrats saying things along the same lines. And I just want to show you what these people are doing, what they're talking about, what their reasoning is, and to show you that what the left stream media is telling you is a bunch of bullshit. This is a Democrat shutdown, and it's because they want their slush fund money back so they can continue to steal from you and me. Here's some talking points from Cory Booker, Sheldon Whitehouse, and Chris Coons.
Said the Democrats are keeping the government shut down so you guys can use this time for leverage, but now nearly 2 million Americans are going to go without paychecks at the end of the week. Do you have any comment on this? Can you explain how this leverage actually benefits the American people?
I'm really confused by your question. The President of the United States controls the White House. The Republicans in the House and the Senate have shown their willingness to do a form of yoga I've never seen, to bend over backwards and do whatever he wants them to do. So when you control the White House, the Senate, and the House of Representatives, this is their shutdown. Democrats are doing what the minority party has always done, which is saying we've got to come together and
lies. See how they try to spin shit and make it sound like it's not them whenever they're the ones voting down 13 times, I might add. 13 times. Here's Sheldon Whitehouse.
The leverage the Democrats need to get Obamacare fixed, to get the Republicans to fix Obamacare. Why is that the place you guys have to go that far?
It's the only lever we have. And frankly, it wouldn't be a lever at all if Republicans were being reasonable.
If you just do what we say while we throw temper tantrums and kick and scream, give us what we want, what the American people rejected, that's what he's saying.
And doing exactly what they should be doing for the sake of their own constituents.
It's such. And I just want to play this last clip for you here. Chris Coons.
Republicans control the House, the Senate, and the White House. Frankly, this is our only moment of leverage, and although a very unpleasant tool to use.
Our only moment of leverage. But you'll notice how they straight out lie to you when Cory Booker says, oh, well, this is a Republican shutdown. How is it a Republican shutdown and yet giving the Democrats their only leverage that they have by making American people suffer? Can you answer me that one? It's absolutely despicable. These people are demons and they've been rejected in every single way. That is why. This stuff right here is why the Republicans have the White House, the Senate, and the majority in the House. However, we do not have 60% or more to be able to get a clean CR. It's a clean CR. And the Republicans have voted 13 times now to get the government back up and running and funded. 13 times. And 13 times the Democrats have said, no, we're going to keep it shut down because we don't have any power. Do you wonder why you don't have power? This is exactly why you don't have power. The American people are absolutely sick of it. And that is why they keep trying to continue to cater to their illegal friends, because they can have their illegal friends vote for them, because the Americans won't do the sick jobs of voting for Democrats that used to be done by Americans. And I'm glad to see that Americans are finally taking a stand. More importantly, I'm glad to see Republicans are finally taking a stand, because that is why that I have always considered myself an independent, because I've said many times I feel like what is being said by the right is absolutely right and how things should be done. However, they've been so spineless, and all the Democrats have to do is whine, throw their little temper tantrums, kick and scream, and they get what they want, just like they're doing right now. And I must say, I'm absolutely proud of the Republicans that are in office right now, taking a stand and holding true and not moving an inch. This is something that we haven't seen, but it is something that we need to see going forward, and absolutely tragic if we give in to the demands of these Democrats. We voted the way we voted because we're tired of giving away all of our money, and most of it is slush fund money, so the Democrats can continue to get rich when they get into office. It's just amazing how that happens, that a public servant making $175,000 a year becomes a freaking multimillionaire overnight. I wonder how that happens. And if you go down the rabbit holes that I've gone down, you'd be able to find out for yourself. And actually, I'm not only proud, but if you look, Republican support and what they're doing has actually gone up since the shutdown, which has never, ever happened. And I just explained to you why, because normally they're spineless and they give in to all of their demands. Even though they have no real leverage here, the only leverage they have is, well, as long as we keep the people suffering, then we can continue to lie to our constituents and get them all riled up and violent and start robbing people. This is how civil war starts. I'm a little fired up, guys. I'm going to go ahead and end this show here, but I did want to end on a good note here. Along with Trump traveling overseas, he made a stop in Malaysia, and I will end with that. And I just want to show you President Trump in Malaysia. Get it. Yes, sir. Okay, let's just watch another angle. That's our president. All right. I just wanted to leave you guys on a little bit of a good note. Sorry, I got fired up there. This is just absolutely ridiculous what we're seeing. But please like, comment, subscribe. Please subscribe to the show and share it with your friends. Also, feel free to send any comments my way. I love to hear from you guys, and I'll do my best to get back with you, and maybe cover some stories that you'd like some coverage on. But please hit that like button. It'll take you 2 seconds. There's no charge. And also subscribe. And again, share with your friends and family. And I'll be back with you here in a few days. My days off have changed. And so that was one of the reasons for the delay in making this show. But I plan to get back on track and get, so that it's no more than a week out. So I do have another show planned. There was a lot that was covered in the news over this time frame. I wanted to cover the more important stuff, so that's what we got today. But thank you for being with me, and I look forward to spending some more time with you in just a few days. Thanks, guys.